Super Mario Odyssey!
Hello everyone, and welcome to my new series, which is going to be indeed Super Mario Odyssey on the Nintendo Switch. This game is a relatively recent one. Probably this is the shortest amount of time between me playing a game casually and playing it for a Let's Play ever. I've actually only 100%ed this just the once, which is the only time I've played it, so this should be an interesting one for me. I really enjoy this game. It captures the Mario Sunshine feel for me, which long-term viewers will know is a great thing. And so without really any further ado, let's get on with it. In the skies above Peach's castle. This is the end. For you, Mario. Time for my wedding with Peach. Jealous, Mario? So, actually, I'm not going to say anything for now. I was going to give some thoughts, but no, we'll just... well, okay, I will give my thoughts of, yes, Bowser is kidnapping Peach to marry her. I mean, it's not even that disturbing by Nintendo standards, but there we go. Spooky, hat-wearing ghosts live here in Tim Burton's wet dream, and we have this one to chase down. So sorry for running away like that. You startled me, and I do startle easily. I saw what happened earlier. You've been through quite the ringer. You've landed in the Cap Kingdom, old boy. We've been under attack by the same monster that gave you such a trouncing. And to make matters worse, the fiend has kidnapped my little sister. I'd hoped to give chase to that monster in a ship of my own. Unfortunately, all of our airships were wrecked in the attack. Although, now that I think on it, I'm fairly certain there's a functioning ship the next kingdom over. I could get us there if only I could reach the top of Top Hat Tower, which has been guarded by that monster's henchman. You know, it seems we're after the same thing. Perhaps we should team up. Let's see if we can't help those two. Not your style? Oh, how about this then? Cappy is now your companion, and that's one of the many things I do deeply enjoy about Mario games is we go straight into it. That's it. That's the plot for now. That's the MacGuffin that gets you motivated, and now we just go from here. It's great. So we have got Cappy. We can throw him. If we hold the button, then he will hover there for a while and then come back to us. We can clear this kind of fog with him. We've got some wonderful music in this area that I will give you a chance to listen to later. You'll notice I'm doing this rolling thing a lot. This is a new thing they introduced in this game, and it's freaking great for making a lot of progress. Other than that, you have the standard array of 3D Mario controls. So you've got the old triple jump, you can do a side flip, you can do a backflip, you can do a long jump. These are all the kind of things you would expect to be. It's just the Cappy stuff that's a bit new. Cappy can hold on to stuff like these lights, for example, and interact with them in some ways. These plugs you can pull out. We'll get, over the coming episodes, to grips with exactly what Cappy can do, and the answer is a lot. Much of which is deeply disturbing and raises some very interesting existential questions about the Mario universe. But we will get there when we get there, actually, which will be pretty soon. So we want to go across here, and we can use Cappy to pull this lever. And a nice rolly bridge appears. So, if you haven't figured out how to roll yet, it's great fun to do on these kind of sections. Oh, the final thing as well that you can do as well is the old ground pound, which is the same as it ever is. Also, I would like to apologise in advance for my controller, which is the loudest thing in the world. So you'll know when I'm you know, spinning the stick or mashing A or something like that, because yes. Anyway, if we head inside, so that door with the hat on can be opened by Cappy, and we can head inside Top Hat Tower. And now we get introduced to this game's prime... Oh, bloody hell. Oh, well, I thought that had more things in it. There we go. So this block is what's called a millionaire. It's not called that, but I called it that when I was a kid, and I stick with the name. You hit it repeatedly, and coins will keep coming out of it. Our coins, as you can see, are being tallied in the top left, and you can get a lot of them. This is what was first revealed with this game, which is this game's gimmick. If we throw our hat at a frog...
Yeah, come on.
You captured a frog! Say hello to New Visualizer, I'll talk you through that over the coming episodes. There's about 50 different things you can capture in this game. So we're a frog now. A frog is one of the many options for things you can capture, and that's basically the first thing they ever revealed about this game is you throw your hat on the frog and you are the frog. And it's wild as a concept, especially for the philosophy it implies of that you can just, you know, apparently... Let's call it what it is. Possess other creatures with your hat. Leads to the very interesting revelation of, is Mario just a hapless Italian-American plumber who's been possessed by his hat all of these years? Who knows? And it only gets weirder in a lot of ways. But every capture has its own unique skills. The frog's main one, as you can notice, is it jumps very high. Can't move so well. You can still fight enemies fine as long as you kind of jump on them. But we can use the frog's abilities to make it to the top of the tower here. You will notice it says as well you can shake the controller to jump higher. That is another one of the fun quirks of my knockoff Switch Pro controller. So I really like it because it's shaped like the GameCube ones, which I find to be one of the most comfortable controllers ever. But that comes at a price. Oh, by the way, if you press R, you will leave your host. And they will be confused and disorientated, understandably, but then you can enter them briefly again, for as long as you want, actually, not briefly, but if you do it in that quick period, then you can grab them again, but if we leave him long enough, he will disappear. Cappy can be used to open chests, and this has, so you'll notice our health is in the top right, it's a 3. Now it's a 6, but that'll only last until that kind of goes down, it's like a Mario Galaxy kind of additional thing. But yeah, so I really like this controller because it's GameCube shaped, but unfortunately A, it's loud, B, it doesn't have rumble, and C, it doesn't support any kind of motion controls. And most of the motion controls in this game are optional. They're optional if you want to 20% the game, but if you want 100% the game, they're not entirely optional. That monster's long-eared henchmen are on Top Hat Tower. So I have a set of Joy-Cons standing by for when I actually have to do some motion controls, which we will get to perhaps later this episode. If not, definitely next episode. But, long-eared henchmen, they say. Yes, let's be introduced to the bizarre antagonists of this game, other than, you know, the big man himself. Hehe, the boss warned me there'd be a fellow with a mustache coming along. Guess we ought to introduce ourselves. We're the wedding planners for the happy couple. They call us the Broodals. We got the treasure we needed, so we got no more business in these parts. Of course, rough enough goody two-shoes meddlers was into contracts, so I guess we still got a bit of work to do. They're clearly supposed to be like that kind of like Italian-American mobster voice. I just obviously can't do that, which should be abundantly clear from the fact you just listened to me. So, this is Topper. If we hit him with our hat, we'll knock one of his hats off. All three of his hats, actually, and that exposes his soft, soft skull to us. Then he'll fly around like a fucking maniac, and if we hit the right one here, I think we can hit him into each other or something like that? Yeah, we hit him into the walls and reveal which one has the man himself in it. And then the same thing happens, so let's knock his hats off his head, and the same thing again. Only 2 hits? Nintendo, what is this? And so what is this we've received for our rewards? Well, this is, visualize a piece, future doctor, a new capture. This is a spark pylon. It has literally only one thing, function, which is this. To reveal the title screen. No, we will come across spark pylons again and use them for moving from A to B, but here we can use it to leave the Cap Kingdom and enter the Cascade Kingdom. Specifically, Fossil Falls. A lovely location to start with. Our first Power Moon is the current episode that we're on. Well, they're not episodes, this isn't Mario Sunshine. But it feels like it could be in some ways, and I'll talk about what I mean by that as we kind of go on. Ooh, yeah, what a ride! And we made it to the Cascade Kingdom. Oh, sorry, still a bit amped from capturing a power line. Let's collect myself. There's to be an old airship around here somewhere. Let's see if we can't find it. So, welcome to the Cascade Kingdom and to Fossil Falls, which is a very cool looking area, certainly. And I'm going to talk about some game concepts. Number 1 over here are purplums. There's 3 of them, and you'll notice there's 50 of them in total. We'll be gathering them as we go on, and I'll talk later about what they're actually used for, but unlike regular coins, which you can gather and they just add in total, there's only a certain number of coins purple coins per kingdom. We got a checkpoint there. If we die, we'll respawn here. We also have a map, which tells us where we need to go, and we can respawn if we want we can just teleport if we want to any checkpoints we've already got. Very nice. If we come down to the left here as well, there are a few more purplums. I'll be trying to get them just basically whenever we kind of can. We can't necessarily get all of them from the off. But they're all there. What does this say? Oh, you can't read the damn thing, you idiot. There we go. Travel tip, homing cap throw. After throwing your cap, shake... Nope, we're not going to be doing that. I can shake this as much as I want, it's not going to do shit, because it's... What the... Anyway. Yeah, okay, fine, I'll try it. Okay, after shake the throw, repeat it. Okay, right, like, I'm connecting the Joy-Cons, quickly. Nope, it's not letting me connect the Joy-Cons fast enough. Come on, come on, come on. There we go, right, okay. I wasn't prepared to do this quickly. So, if we throw this... Oh yeah, if I shake it, you'll notice... So I throw it there, hold it, and then shake! And it does a thing. So it goes, whoa, like that. Great. Glad they added that in. That couldn't have just been a button, like, you know, hold and then press again or something like that. No, they had to hide it behind motion controls. But all of that is technically unnecessary. Over here, we have a new capture, which is... a chain chomp. So its thing is pull the left stick to wind up and then let go. And it goes flying. And you decapture it at that point. What we need to do is hit this ominously glowing section. And that reveals... Did you pay attention to what this section was called? Because this reveals our first Power Moon. And it's called our first Power Moon. Also gives the date, so you can tell how far ahead I record these, which is mildly interesting. And you can see how many sessions I record in one day as well, which is usually a lot. So, the next area, multi-moon atop the falls, the next episode. So these are what are called story moons. There's a lot of moons in this game, there's 990 of them. But a small number of them are... Oh, we found a Power Moon. What a lucky break. This will come in handy to power the airship. Have you seen anything like it? But yes, a number of the moons are what are called story moons, which are what those ones are, which basically are the ones you have to work towards, and then when you work towards one, you get it, and it unlocks the next story moon, and you proceed on that way. There are kind of, yeah, there's two real forms of them. There's the ones that, there's two kind of types of collecting moons, I should say, I suppose. There's story moons, and then once you get to certain points with story moons, it will then say, it'll then say, okay, in order to move on, gather a certain number of moons. And they can come from anywhere, and we'll get a bit more onto it, but for now we're kind of constrained because we are still in essentially what is considered the kind of tutorial-y stage of the game, and we will be for most of the rest of this episode. I've just been gathering a few more purplums around here. We've got 15 out of 50, which is pretty good. You'll have noticed there was a visualizer for the moons as well, and they were in the form of a graph. As in a thing with nodes and edges, not necessarily a graph in the common usage of the phrase. That, of course, shows you which ones, moons, sometimes you only get certain ones after certain ones, and we'll be seeing more of that as we go on. Ah, there it is. This is what we were looking for. It's looking a bit more rough than I'd expected. Ah, it's just an older model. I'm still certain it can fly. Let's give it a shot, shall we? Throw me on that globe there. Also, the globe, interestingly, reveals that this world kind of looks like ours, but not, which is... Let's not think about that too hard either. So, we throw a hat onto it. Huh? Nothing's happening. That power moon must not have given the ship enough energy. I wonder if we can find more around here. So, this is the bit where it will tell you how many moons you need to get to proceed. And if you look in the top left underneath the coins, you'll see there's 4 empty circles. That is the number of moons we need to get, which is 4 in order to juice up the airship enough to move on. We also know there is a multi-moon atop the falls, which is what the name of this episode is, and the story moon will always kind of guide you towards a moon of some sort. But then at some point it would be like, okay, there's no more story moons, but you just need to gather a certain amount of moons in order to juice up and move on. Question mark blocks only really tend to have coins in, and oh, that was clearly a lie. I'll talk about the difference between gold coins and purplums in a bit, as in when we actually get a chance to spend either of them. But for now, we get what is bafflingly a new capture. There's Chain Chomps and there's Big Chompo here. It's actually just called Big Chain Chomp, but not Big Chompo, because that would be ridiculous. But what we have to do here is we need to smash these, I think? Oh, no, God. Ow. Oh, I got hit and it knocked me out of the capture, actually. Yeah, you can kind of... Ah, yes. If we hit this one here, is it? We can do a bit of a... Interesting. So, I've tried a new approach to practicing this game. Previously, in the past, I kind of practice and I make notes, there we go, there and then, like, shortly before recording. But this one, I was like, I've done all my practicing, it's already done. So I have a lot of notes here, and this note here said 3 times purplums in whole right of dinosaur plateau. Actually, that perfectly explains it to me, because there's a hole to the right of a plateau. Why do I call this dinosaur plateau in my notes, you ask? Well, I feel like that should be obvious. If you look at the primary resident of this plateau, here it is. And indeed, goodness, look at the size of this thing. But he's got a little thing on his head, which means... So, we can capture a fucking T-Rex. He can run around and he can break all of these blocks that Chain Chomps can break, which is very, very handy in a lot of ways. You can break these, but I actually want him for something very specific. Weirdly, the T-Rex cannot jump, which is a bit of a problem. That means you have to navigate him over surfaces like this quite carefully. But what we actually want to do is break these blocks here, which unlocks a trampoline. Which means we can bounce up again, which is absurd. But that's the kind of thing we can do with him. I will actually... that wasn't actually necessarily what I wanted to show off, but I certainly did show it off. Now, one of the interesting things with the dinosaur is because of the absolute fucking size of this lad, we can only hold on to him for a set period of time. Eventually... Oh, by the way, we can also run with him. Yeah, we can only... You'll notice there's a ticking tocky in the background, and when it runs out... Off he fucks. It's too big. I couldn't hold on to it any longer. But, fortunately, upon that, he just appears back up here. So, let's grab him again. And this time we're actually going to use it properly. So, we can kill Chain Chomps with him, which is amazing. We can smash through this, and we could smash through the Chain Chomps, but it's a lot more fun doing it with a very large dinosaur. But mainly if we smash this bit here. I said if we smash this bit here, there we go. There's a moon in there. Let's leave him there. He'll even be a bit stunned. Good lord. He is both massive and... surprisingly photorealistic. I'm very much getting King Red-Eye flashbacks from Star Fox Adventures. But there's a moon in here. Chop through the rocks. Though we didn't chomp through the rocks, we T-Rexed through the rocks, but that also still works. We obviously want to proceed on that way, but actually if we go round to the left here, then there are some purplums, I believe, we can gather. Or we can boot the wall at full force, that'll be fun too. Yes, so there's a couple of purplums here. These little things here, you'll realise if you hit them with the hats, they turn into real platforms. Cappy can absolutely gather purplums for you as well, which is real nice. And we come out here just behind this thing that we destroyed with the T-Rex anyway, and get ourselves a cheeky checkpoint. So from here, we want to go up and to the right, ignoring the bridge full of spiky bastards, because once again, not only is there a little secret way up here that makes my life a bit easier, if I actually do it, which I obviously didn't. Oh god, I'm jumping like an idiot. So up here, we can successfully hit these, eventually successfully hit these clouds and get another couple of purples. Then there's those spinies which we can ignore, and then we've got more purplums here. All the purplums are basically just sitting out in the open in this area, so we can gather, as there's 50 of them in total, and we can gather almost all of them, like on the first instance that we are here, really. Now next here we come up to something rather interesting. If we smash this wall open, we reveal something that there's a fair few of in this game, and they're quite cool. It's called a retro section. We'll be doing it in just a second. I just want to take advantage of some more purplums over here. And then, yes, so if we go into this pipe, the music changes, and we changes as well. We become 2D, so it's the same kind of controls as you would expect for a 2D Mario. And you can run around and jump and break blocks and all that kind of stuff you'd expect. Good one. I'll let the music play a little bit. Also, retro sections can absolutely house power moons, which is quite cool. We've had shines, we've had some stars, and now we have moons there. Nintendo are going to be running relatively low on celestial objects for Mario to gather at this stage. But with that, when you get to the top of a 2D section, you just pop out. And you become 3D again, which is very cool. With that, we're at Fossil Falls Heights, so we just need to proceed on to the boss, who we've technically kind of already seen, that she's floating around. The bloody get away from me. This one keeps getting in the way. Move! Oh, right, I'm going to capture the further one. No, I'm not. Not with that attitude, I'm not. There we go, actually, I did successfully capture the further one. I'm just... Ah, God! The fact there's two of them is just deeply problematic. There we go. So... this is to heart you up if you're not ready for a fight, but we are. Oh, what's this? You say you need to repair some silly old airship? Why, I could never part with one of my precious power moons. It sounds to me like someone wants to be a snack for my adorable chain chompykins. Well, she's deeply disturbing on a number of levels. Time for another new capture, which isn't actually a new capture, which is the Golden Chain Chomp. So she gets annoyed that we've possessed her pet, and she will chase after us and try and hit us out of him. But after a while, we get a chance to smash her in the mouth, which is, I must admit, deeply satisfying. Now we just dodge her throwing Chain Chompykins, which I didn't do successfully, and then once again, so he goes along that line there, and then we have to knock Chain Chompykins' hat off in order to actually possess him. That's a general thing in this game. You can't possess people who are wearing hats already, unless you knock the hat off in some way, which is not always an option. But here with Chain Chompykins, fortunately it is. So let's actually try and dodge it this time. Oh, look at that. Like a ninja, right. No hat for you, Chain Chompykins, and then I will have you. And then, yeah, Madame Broodal will try to hit us a couple of times here, and we need to wait until she's tired. So 3 hits should do it, and then she'll go, ugh, and then wallop! Straight in the mouth. And so, this episode was of course called Multi-Moon Atop the Falls, and here is the eponymous Multi-Moon. You've done it, and now you've got a multi-moon. It's as strong as 3 power moons combined. It should get the ship moving in no time. Let's see if we can't make this work. Throw me on that globe. So, of the 4 power moons we needed, we have 5, because I got that additional one in chomping through the rocks as well. So, without further ado, let's throw Cappy onto the Odyssey. The Odyssey is restored. And with that, we've enough fuel to reach the Sand Kingdom. Let's go save those two. Why don't you take the helm? Just like the Sand Kingdom and press A and we'll be off. And that will be something for us to do next episode. We've had enough for one episode, everyone, so I am going to hold it there. So thank you, everyone, for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this introduction to Super Mario Odyssey, and I hope you'll join me next time for... We could go forward to the Sand Kingdom, but we're actually going to go backwards to the Cap Kingdom when we started off, where there's a lot of things open for us now. I hope you'll join me then. Thank you very much, and good day.